Guys, welcome to the Bazaar. Today I'm going to be bringing you what is I'm going to give you a quick review of what is going to be last Bazaar's patch note, but I'm going to be giving you some commentary, insight, some of my perspectives and opinions about the game. Listen, I don't want to say Bazaar is in the top spot, but it has a lot of problems. Right. That being, and I'm gonna die on this hill, that enchantments are a bit of a problem, and I'm gonna start out with that, and you're going to see that maybe Reynad is gonna point this out. Okay, listen, I'm gonna say these without even watching the videos. There's very two bad things going on with the Bazaar. That is, it feels like playing well doesn't get you there, right? Playing well doesn't get you there. There's too much luck involved, and it's a combination of too much luck being involved and some items being too good. And when I say some items being too good, I mean is bronze items, right? Because you drafting into a correct item set isn't the problem, right? That should be rewarded. I'm not saying that. Like, if you have a build, you try to force a shop to get a build, and it actually gets you to 10 wins, fine. I'm good with that. But the problem is, you get power drill, you get the turret thing that has a multicast 3 with a 10, and for dooley, and you just literally go bananas, B-N-A-N-A-N-A-N. No pun intended. But yeah, it's just a lot of inherent problems that have to be fixed, because you can't. And this is the main problem. This isn't a dooley problem, right? This is a problem where whatever character comes out, you're going to have bronze items that just get enchanted and you just win, right? That's a fucking problem, bro. Like, you can't go into day 10 and just because your bronze item has an enchantment, you win. That doesn't make sense. And again, enchantments are a problem because it's like a combination of both things. Yes, bronze items are the thing that makes you have it consistently, but the enchantments will still have that effect on every single item, even if you get it on a later day. So you have to like hotfix both if you want a more, how do I say, rewarding gameplay for people who are just playing correctly. When I mean playing correctly, I mean like if you blunder some days for gold, that's fine. If you have the correct econ throughout the day, that's fine too. It just doesn't feel rewarding to play well. If he's rewarding to hit, and I get it. The Bazaar is a game of chance and a game of randomness. That is true, but it almost feels like every single opponent you go against has the same board, and it's because there's a pattern, right? Some items such are too strong to the point where, oh, this guy doesn't have this item on his board. We have the same board, but he doesn't have one item. You get decimated. There's no chance the PvP battle is even close, right? Let's just get right to it. I'll give you more commentary as the video goes on. I'll pause. I haven't played a game since the patch. I'm gonna get a few rounds as soon as I stop playing this club. I just wanted to give you a fresh insight before I do any gameplay, before I start out my rants, because shit, man, it always feels in a triangle. Listen, there's always gonna be a triangle meta in every single game. That's how just shit works. But it shouldn't be set apart. And I'm happy Pig isn't good, right? Fine, that makes me ecstatic, but it's not good game. It's not healthy for the game, right? So let's just get right to it. Whatever. Let's switch it at 1.5.
And welcome to another patch note video.
Cause I love Reynad, but he talks kind of slow, man.
Again tomorrow. Wanted to talk through our reasoning behind some of these changes. As a quick reminder before we get started, if you ever see anyone on the internet quoting me or saying Reynad said, please know that is almost always followed by a lie. I'd encourage you guys to watch videos like this, get information directly in regards to the game wherever possible. So let's jump into it. So we're patching here on February 5th. Let's go into the changes. Rit is hard to spawn right now because we got rid of the genie lamp, but you can still portal into him, I think. So just some small fixes.
Oh, they should have done that. They should have done that.
Little things faster wherever.
Listen, a lot of the bugs come from this interactions, because I don't know how they have it coded, but the simple fact you can go into a day and it has like an inbuilt transition for you to like click an item and then go into the shop. I think it kind of makes your days bug out sometimes. Like sometimes your item slots will be bugged, and I don't know if it's because this is coded, but that shit just brings to like a lot of bugs. If you have a genie lamp, like it shouldn't be stored in your inventory for your later use. I mean, this is completely coming from a buggy standpoint. I understand why they wanted to do it that way. Like it kind of has like a good flavor text transition, but yeah, whatever.
You can. So the loot rewards, you won't have to click on them anymore. They'll just spawn straight to your stash. Updated drop rate tables. This is a pretty big one. So there's been a table of probabilities behind the scenes that basically decides when different rarities of cards can spawn. And we think bronze items have been like representing too much of the drop table for too long, basically. So
listen, and it's what I've been saying. There's no way in the perspective of balance you can justify a bronze item being on your board day 10, right? If your opponent has a bronze item day 10 and you're not sitting on day 10 any bronze items, your board should be significantly stronger, right? And I've said this before. I do not know why they haven't done this, but they started doing this patch. Item cooldowns should be completely they should work on their tier. For example, if you have 4 tiers or whatever, a bronze, silver, gold, and diamond, their cooldown should be scaling through their levels, right? There shouldn't be charge mechanics or whatever. You upgrade them, they get lower cooldown. Why? Because that justifies upgrading the item. Then again, I think in one of the videos, this is a good segue from Raynad saying, if you see somebody saying something about him, it's probably a lie. Okay, then I'm going to see it allegedly. Raynad said it with his videos, like he doesn't want the game to be like an upgrade jerk off. Don't quote me on that exactly, but he understands that a lot of people just like upgrading for serotonin, and that shouldn't always be the case. Like a level up, not a level up, but an hour a visit, like 250 health, for example, on a day 10 from snack time should represent like a better outweigh than just trying to get a level up or an upgrade, right? They should have the same weight. You getting 250 health, or you trying to get an upgrade? Which is, I get, that's completely fine. But they've come full circle, and this is why the beta is so important, because I think they balance the shop really well, in the sense that they implemented rerolls again, but with the cost of gold. So it's like an actual detriment to like go to the shop and reroll for upgrades. So you need to have good econ, but then upgrading isn't just as worth it because bronze items are broken. But let's see what he says. I completely agree. Like I said, bronze items are fucking busted.
We're phasing bronze items out faster. Higher rarity things should be easier to find, especially mid and late game.
So that means if you want to get power drill, for example, you're only going to see a bronze power drill, which is good, because that like I said, some people just roll out their fucking money on a shop. Like they just see medium shop duel, let's go, but they see silver power drill or silver fuck, I forget the name of the turret, the one that has multicast 3, and it's a silver rarity, and this is why the silver shop was removed from the first few days, or I think it's just in 1 and 2. The reason why it was removed, it's because people couldn't actually just go to that shop to get like items, because it was like a silver shop. You needed a lot of money to go into that shop. But again, this is just good changes for balancing around bronze items being too broken. So let's
and we'll see how that feels. We think now that we've had enough time to play it out with this loot table, we have a good feeling for where we want to steer it, and yeah, I think that'll be a step in the right direction. So hopefully that plays well. Let us know what you guys think with this change. So see, many items have had their scaling updated. So the game is overdue for a numbers pass across the board. We kept changing things throughout the process, and every once in a while, after you change a bunch of things, you sort of need to recalibrate all the numbers so they all follow the same paradigm, the same like scaling. So we've changed a lot of cards over the last few months, but we haven't finished a pass like that yet. This isn't
the
a
scaling
complete
of it.
one. This is us testing a different type of scaling to some extent. We want the bronze items to be stronger in general compared to diamond items. A lot of items felt like they didn't make sense to run at all until they were like silver tier. So hopefully the combination of these two changes will swing that. So it used to be that a bronze item would be like 1/4 as strong as a diamond item, roughly. And with this new scaling paradigm, it should be closer to 1 to 3. So yeah, just a bump in strength and bronze numbers. The trade-off to this is that upgrades might feel a little worse. Like the amount that your item is improving per upgrade might not be as high in most cases because they're starting with a higher floor at bronze. So we'll see how that plays.
Okay, so I gotta see how exactly this translates to, because it almost feels like he took back what I said. So there, but I think this is mostly for. I'm gonna give you an example for. This is mostly for kunai, like Vanessa kunai. For just to give an example, Vanessa kunai is so bad right now with how they changed it back. Nobody's running that item. Like full weapon Vanessa is a niche at most, and it's because some of the numbers on some bronze items are skewed, right? But some of the numbers on some items are super unbalanced, like Armadillo, like Power Drill, like not really the dooley turret. Let's see what else is on. Those are the really things, bro. They're dooley items, so you can see like a pattern. But some of the item base damage from bronze are just unfair, and some of them are just too fucking low, bro. And I think it's across the board. They've been. A lot of the items have been nerfed a lot, but let's just listen to what you keep saying.
We think it's a step in the right direction, so it should open up some more options early game, especially. So, all right, see, fix an issue where some level up rewards would provide XP like they were a regular encounter. Oops. Pearl's dig site being a merchant, some bug fixes. Right, so the enchantment altar level ups. Instead of showing you like 3 specific enchantments, which makes it really easy to cherry pick the best one, we want to try something where we give you the artist, which gives you a random enchantment, or one specific enchantment that we show you. So you can take the one that you rolled, or you can go to the artist and re-roll it. I think that'll play better. We'll see how that goes. Our team feels good about that change.
Listen, I think it's wrong. If you get an enchantment, it should be random, right? It should be, listen to me, random, unless it's like day 14. If they can balance it like on the last days, because when you get into day 15 and day 14, day 16, whatever you want to measure it, shit gets toxic. So you're in a position where nothing makes your board better except enchantments, because you need to go infinite more than your opponent does, right? So you would need like specific enchantments to make your board better, right? But they already did that, the scaling on the items. Like it felt really bad going into day 14 and day 15, knowing that the only thing you can go into to make your board better was either skills. Oh, skills is an important one, but skills are just very random right now, and enchantments, right? But if you make enchantments completely random, you can't just go power drill. I'm using fire core and I have power drill, right? Or I can't just. I'm playing pufferfish and I give pufferfish haste, and now it's like going infinite. You know, like it makes your board stronger, of course, because it's an enchantment. It should make your board stronger, and it on very small cases it should make your board broken because you got the correct enchantment, the correct item. Just like when you go to a board shop, you get fucking shield armadillo, right? Good, you got it, bro. You're going plus. You're going 10 wins. You're winning, bro. Like, sure, you hit a shop, you hit an item, that's good. But this shouldn't be the case when you go against every single dually, every single game, every single day, right? That shouldn't be the case. They're spamming the same enchantments on the same items because they're too easy to get. Let's just keep going.
The arrow visual effect that Arbalist, Ballista, Javelin, Longbow, Runic, Double Bow use has been updated. You guys will see VFX getting improved in waves. Pretty much every patch. Hopefully, you've been seeing some of that.
That's good.
But yeah, everything from visuals to performance should be seeing some improvements pretty regularly. Improved the implementation of the portrait click voiceover. This is something a lot of people don't know existed, even the ones that have played the game for a long time. If you click the merchant portraits, like the portrait on the other side of the table, it'll play extra voice lines. And
what the fuck? I
did
not know that. I'm gonna do it.
And now it's just gonna be one click, and they play in the right order as well.
Bro, by the way, I understand right now. By the way, the voiceover on the characters are goated. They have so many good voiceovers, and I like that because they made this game with more the intention with it having just a good gameplay. It has a lot of good flavor text, and shit, the character just feels like you can, how do I say, like, you warm up to them. But to the point, a little bit too much you want to add, because, bro, some of them are trying to raise you up way too much, bro. And some of them have been straighting bluntly insulting you to the ground, right? Like the fucking small merchant, or which one? There's one of them. I think it's the medium shop item. No, it's not the medium shop item. It's one of them that literally is talking to you like she's trying to take you to bed. It's Friday night. She gave you 5 clubs. She gives you 5 glasses of wine, and my girl is trying to dine and wine you. Okay, not in that order, but you know what I mean. Like those voiceovers are a little bit too spicy, zesty, saucy. I don't know if right now was fucking add that shit in, boy. But yeah, they're good. I like that. I didn't know that.
Some more voice lines for people to discover if they're interested in doing that. Let's see, implemented caps on certain item attributes to prevent integer overflow. Yeah, Crane won't hit for 0 anymore, but should still. I hope it still goes into scientific notation. I'm not sure what the cap is. We should see. All right, enchantment changes.
Okay, so apparently Crane, for you guys you don't know, Crane procced so many times on itself where it literally, you needed to get a scientific calculator to see how much damage it did. I'm not kidding, bro. It literally did, like, it used E to the power of X to how do I say, to represent a visual number on how much damage it's doing. So it's like, oh, how much damage is it doing? E to the -7th power times 8 million or some shit like that. That's what it literally said. But sometimes it did 0 damage. So yeah, it's good that they actually
continuing to improve the implementation of enchantments on many items. For example, yeah. So we've updated our enchantments. I've been talking about this for a while. There will be some amount of changes like this, most patches. But there's just a lot of enchantment content in the game. We want to give those enchanted versions of items their own, like, bespoke design treatment wherever possible. But there are so many of them, of course. And we think this will play better. Basically, Toxic and Fiery is going to pay attention to the base output of the item. So kind of like how Shielded went from being a flat shield amount into shielding equal to the damage of the weapon that's shielded. Now that I say this out loud, this is hard to follow. But yeah, basically the Toxic and Fiery enchantments will now pay attention to the gem number of the other effect on the card and scale accordingly. So hopefully that feels...
That's good, because Fiery, and Toxic are basically the worst enchantments to give. Because you can't actually... Let's say you're playing Pufferfish, to give you an example. You usually just give poison to the same items that give poison, because it'll just give double poison, right? It makes no sense giving it to another. But let's say, for example, you put it on the algae that procs heal every time you... Like, it bumps heal every time you activate an aquatic item. Let's say instead of it just having a flat amount of poison, it said poison 1, and every time you proc an aquatic item, increase this item's poison by 1. So he wants to put like flavor text on these items. It's good because it's gonna nerf some of the items that are too broken. Let's say for like Armadillo says let's say you have shield on Armadillo that says every time you shield, charge this 1. But just to give you an association, if you make the shield effect have like a specific iteration for that item itself, you can make the item still good, but not having proc on itself. Like, let's say for example, it says this item gives you shield equal to the damage it does. It would still be the same way. Fuck. Okay. Every time this does damage, increase your item shield by this item's damage or some shit like that. Something to like balance on itself, but still would be very good, is what I'm trying to say. So it's basically the game plan.
Like there are fewer enchantments that are duds, but we'll see. And it's definitely not done yet. Freeze, we've been meaning to rebalance the icy enchanted items for quite some time. Most of them are going to be size restricted in terms of what they can freeze moving forward. And yeah, I think that should make them a lot more in line.
That is true.
So we got some Arbalist fixes.
That's one of the changes I liked about these patches. Freezing should
be fine. We're adding Latoy type to a bunch of things. I think you guys already know about that one. Barrel's getting a nerf.
Well
just
needed.
Needed a numbers pass mostly. Hopefully this is more reasonable. It might still be too good. We'll see. Let's see. Ballista. Sure. So this is just an example of like the scaling changes, right? Bayonet used to do like 5, 10, 20, 40. This one is more extreme. This was 1/8 as strong at diamond, but yeah, it's just upping the bronze power level, the silver power level sometimes, and lowering diamond scaling in some cases. So just a bunch of numbers passes. You're going to see this across the board. I'll let other creators dig into this. You guys can let me know how you feel about this.
Let me preface, so or let me just give you like a good skim of the items because I'm familiar with all these. The bayonet is absolutely making a change because 10 from bronze is good. So you can justify playing like let's say shotgun reload with bayonet right now because it's 10 damage, right? And the buffs actually go hard. So that might make a change. Bola's double damage, and this is what I was saying. A lot of Vanessa's items, you're gonna see like Vanessa items are just gonna feel more better now because if you go like rush Vanessa with like 18 small items, exaggeration by the way, but that's what it feels like. It wasn't good because the item flat numbers on the bronze and silver were just too little, right? Now it's gonna feel like you can actually one shot your opponent now because it's literally double the damage. You can see the numbers, 40 from 20, 40 from 25. Cannonade isn't actually one. Concealed dagger isn't the one. Concealed dagger is the one that gives you gold. Anyways, that one doesn't really matter too much. But cutlass, cutlass they buffed the number of it, which doesn't even actually matter in the builds that are cutlass is really good, but it matters for the builds you just want to slap in cutlass, right?
A bunch of numbers passes. You're gonna see this across the board. I'll let other creators get into this. You guys can
look at double barrel is 10 damage on one of the.
Let us know
so that was good.
This,
Flagship has a good one. Katana is 4 damage. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Deal 40. Oh, okay. So they let's see the scaling. It's 40, 60, 80, 100 to from 25, 50, 75, 100. This is good because getting bronze Laxian felt ass. Now it actually feels like getting bronze Laxian feels like scaling a silver Laxian, which is good. But they nerfed the base damage on it. But it's okay. The base damage on Laxian didn't matter 0 to none. But now if you get a win with Laxian, let's say you got 75, where before it's more. You have, if you let's say for example you have 1 win with Laxian, you have 40 plus 40. That's on your first PvE E win. That's 80, and before it was 25 plus 25. So that's 50. Now it's like already scaling upwards from 80, and then if you got your second win, it would have been 40 more. So it would have been 120, and your bronze Laxian from Lax Patch would have been sitting on 25 on 70. So you're already doubling the damage on a bronze Laxian if you're trying to scale it, would make sense. So a lot of these numbers are just going to make sense.
So it has to be the game's fault when people lose, and so this is kind of like never something that's like fixed. A bunch of number changes.
That is true. Most of the numbers don't actually need to be changed. I'm talking about numbers. It's completely numbers. The problem, if the Bazaar has problems in any at all, it's literally just the interactions of some things. It's not the numbers. Like the numbers can be fixed. I don't think the Bazaar has actually a problem, and I'm talking about like in a negative sense. Like, yeah, people are sad. Vanessa, like full Vanessa small weapon build isn't actually a thing. Vanessa players are actually looking down that they can't actually do that build. But it's not like a community problem, right? There's not like a census that everybody's saying like, oh, I'm not getting one shot by Vanessa. Like that build doesn't work anymore. Like that's fine. I think if anyone, people have a problem of like enchantments being too strong or bronze items being in every single board because they're too strong. Like it's literally, that's the problem. The numbers things can be handled accordingly, and if there's an item that is doing too much damage input by stats because they already have that in added in, then they can nerf it because they'll actually have like an assessment where what item is being too strong and how much DPS is it dealing compared to other items. They'll do that eventually in the future. So yeah.
Vanessa for every hero really. We'll see how these changes play. We were adding some toy tags across the board, but mostly dialing in numbers on a bunch of cards. And yeah, like I said, this is never something that's gonna have a finish line. There'll always be some amount of tweaks.
Like I said, no, it's not
on the stuff that's overrepresented, but yeah, definitely feeling good about the balance.
Let's see Turtle Shell, bro. Thank you. Now it's not a gold tier. Now nobody's gonna start spamming out Turtle Shell. You're gonna be losing to Turtle Shell like in later days. That's really good.
It's overall and where it's headed. This patch, we have redesigned a couple items. Apropos Chapeau is a pretty cool one. We really liked how like Flagship plays, for example, in Weatherglass, and so Apropos Chapeau is gonna play kind of similarly. So it's like a Gonjo that multicasts a whole bunch. This item might be way too strong. We'll see how it plays. It's still somewhat slow, but I don't know. It's a lot of multicast. We'll see how that one does. See, adding the tech type to some stuff. This is one I'm pretty excited about.
Pig doesn't need help right now, so it's fine. I'm not gonna bitch about that.
Beast of Burden. So we got the tech to add types to things dynamically, and so that's something we've been waiting for. This is pretty exciting. We get to rework Beast of Burden. There's a whole class of items like Beast of Burden and Regal Blade and all of these like scaling items, and they have this design problem where basically
that's very good, bro. Like when they start adding things like more items, like that's more tags on more items, like let's say nature, alien, like I think they're eventually gonna add like a dinosaur tag to some things because they might be a dinosaur character in the near future. If you add those more flavor tags to items intertwining with tags, it's gonna be like really good flavor tags. And since it's going to have a random factor, I don't think it's gonna be broken, but it's gonna be very cool. Bro, I think people in general have a census that when you lose to something cool, they appreciate that shit. I mean, if I lose to a build that goes infinite because it's not using the main streamline items, let's say if I'm losing to slow burn, like Vanessa slow burn, I actually applaud that because then it's not a consistent build and they actually broke it because they managed to hit the right items, they played through it, they pivoted to it in a sense where this is all I'm getting, but I'm going to play through it because that's all I'm getting. It's correct gameplay, and I like that.
At a certain point of the game, like early on, they're auto pick, and then later on, you can't really consider them because it's like too late to buy them. You don't have time to scale them, and so that feels kind of lame. They're sort of balanced on this razor's edge of unplayable or OP, and it's hard to be anything but. And so it's okay to have a couple items that scale that way in the game. You know, like Dog will probably always do that, and some others I'm sure. But we're looking at more fun designs for these items that let us just make them a consideration at different stages of the game more. So this Beast of Burden, you're packing the camel. Every time you buy an item, Beast of Burden is going to gain the types from that item, and it's going to gain multicast for every type on it. So this might be way too strong. We also lowered the cooldown a good amount. It's not written here.
Bro, that could be broken on some. Like, for example, I'm going to give you an example. You get Beast of Burden with Dooley. You buy Combat Core. And now fucking Beast of Burden is core, tech. No. Combat Core isn't tech. Is it tech? Combat Core is whatever. It's core. That's the problem. Then you go into a situation where the Beast of Burden is core, and then you put let's say for example Raise, and then this fucking Beast of Burden has multicast. So you know how Raise have every time you proc a core, do X thing. Exactly. So you have Beast of Burden with, for example, Freeze Ray and Weapon Ray. So I could give you a small example. It has multicast 8, And then suddenly you're freezing 8 items on a 2-second cooldown and buffing your weapons for 180 every time piece of burden procs. Kind of broken, no? That's he's calling it right now.
We'll see how this plays. I think it's more fun than just churning through items. The issue we're gonna have,
but he's right. He's right. Like getting phalanx, getting dogs, getting it's not the switchblade. Is the other pick item that scales when you sell the weapon. They're just not considered buying at later stages of the game. But I think the character that has that detriment is just pig. The other ones don't actually like feel that way. I think it's just a pig problem. But I understand what he's saying.
This patch with it is we're still waiting on some tooltip tech. So this is going to be the frustrating part with this change, just for like a patch or two, is you won't be able to see all the tags that you have. Because the tooltips we have right now don't let you show more than like 3
I have
or 4
a 1.3,
and so
and he's talking like it's normal.
Once that's updated, you'll be able to see all the tags that this thing is acquiring. But we figured since we could have it mechanically work right, it's better to test it sooner rather than later and start dialing these numbers in. So we'll see how that goes. Got belt, gaining the apparel type. This is a subtype that's going to want you to have like one other apparel a lot of times. So that is a pretty.
So see,
that is a buff basically for belt. Not that it needed it. Let's see, Boomerang. We're bringing Boomerang back. This is one of the first pieces of art in the game ever, actually. This item has just been out of the game because we haven't had an effect on it that we really liked. And all the cool Boomerang stuff required custom technology. So that being said, it's a weapon, it's a toy, it deals damage. When you want to fight against a monster with this, get a random loot item. We're going to go with the monster hunting theme with this. We'll see how it plays. Hopefully people like that.
That's cool, though. That's cool.
I don't know. We're willing to change this item and rework it if that doesn't feel great. So
it's cool, though. And Pig doesn't have, like...
some other small changes. Bootstraps is fixed now with the enchantments, so a lot of really impactful items you should see getting turned on increasingly more over time. Let's see, Gonjo.
Does it have like reward items like that?
Or no, this is a scaling change. So we made the bronze version stronger, basically. But diamond is about as strong. So let's see, Gumball Machine, Jabalian Drum. We're reverting the loop change. I think this is just simpler, cleaner, it reads better. It's strong, but it's it plays well. Has a lot of synergy. It's a short line of text. I don't know. I don't like this. It's okay on Billboard because Billboard like sits there. On Loop, it didn't quite feel right, so we're reverting Loop.
Your small items
should certainly be a buff to pig. Let's see, marbles.
Wait, let me see something.
Sure. On Loop, it didn't.
Your small items. Oh yeah.
Quite feel right, so we're reverting Loop.
I know what he's doing because it's
should certainly be a buff to pig.
Just garbage right now.
Let's see, marbles.
He's putting apparel type too in a lot of the items.
Model ship. Adjacent toys have +1 multicast. So model ship is not just doing shield stuff anymore. We'll see how that plays. Multicast is powerful, so we want to make Pygmalion's item set more interoperable, so his items can work with more different items. And so you're going to see some tag creep, kind of like I was talking about in the last patch. So toys, apparel, a lot of things caring about them now. Again, this is just the first pass of this, so we'll see how this plays.
Just putting a lot of toy tags on everything.
Let's see. Slingshot, Snow Globe. Snow Globe's only freezing smaller, medium items now. A lot of the freezing effects in the game are going to get size.
Yeah, they have to.
Not all of them,
but
a lot of them.
They have to.
I think it's the cleanest way to balance a lot of those effects. Let's see. Stopwatch.
Ooh, look at that.
Tusk Helm. Yep. Pretty straightforward. Yeah, we'll see if Vineyard and Landscaper are
We're
good
going to read the dooley changes a little bit thoroughly because they're important ones.
Oh, we have overheal in. Awesome. Yeah, we were waiting on this tech for a long time to be able to overheal. And it took us quite some time to get this effect. So in the meantime, what we were doing is we put this effect on weights where if you heal while at full health, it charged. And it should have been when you overheal. Instead, we're just basically waiting for this. So now we have it. Now we can charge stuff. Yeah, not a lot to say about this. I think this is a timing we'll use a lot, like when you overheal.
Yeah, that might be like a
we'll see if it plays well, but I have a feeling you'll be seeing a lot more of this if it does.
Yeah, if it's actually consistent.
Turning off other item music. Okay. Yo-yo's a toy. All right.
Okay, let me read this before he says anything because I don't want to pause the video. Okay, it says alpha because I do have. This is where I do have a barometer on how this might change or not. It says they buff the damage. They nerf the damage on, or it doesn't matter. They did the same scale that they did for the other items. It's basically that's not the important number. The important number is how much it gives, right? So it says when you use a core or another rate, your weapons gain 2, 3, 4, 5 damage for the fight, from 36912 for the fight. How do I say this without being an exaggeration? That is really bad, by the way. That is really bad. That is really fucking bad. And but it was one of the principal rays to use with the strongest dooley belt, so it's fine. Arc Blaster, nerfed from damage. I completely agree. That shit was doing way too much damage early game. Atomic Clock. Fix up Atomic Clock. So now it has a 2-second delay from 1 second. They had to do this, and I'm gonna give you like the best explanation that I can. Slowing this item had no detriment to it whatsoever, because it was just. And I would up the cooldown even more and make the atomic clocks effect a little stronger, because freezing or slowing the atomic clock should be a thing, right? Because it shouldn't automatically like do whatever it's doing. There's items for that already, like increase your opponent's cooldowns item by X, which is what the other clock item does. It just feels like atomic clock doesn't have a separation from the other thing, the other item that is trying to give your opponent stacked cooldown. Anyways, atomic clock, if you have like ammo stashes, feels like one of the most broken dooley items. Barbed wire, flat 10, and when you shield, this gains 5, 10, 15 for the fight from 5, 10, 20. Why did they put the existence of a bronze item? When it's bronze, it doesn't do anything. It just does 10 damage. No, it doesn't exist. That's just like some text shit. They just nerfed the diamond version of this. You're gonna. I'm already looking at this. It's going to be just dooley nerfs, by the way. Brick Buddy got reduced from 30 to 20. They didn't actually fix the scaling on this. This is the friend one, if I'm not mistaken. Bunker. They fixed the percentage on this because Bunker doesn't actually proc on poison and fire anymore. These are all nerfs, like really big nerfs. I would say Blast Door is really good. A really good nerf. But it wasn't the most detrimental dooley element. Let's just let him scroll down to the list.
Down to dooley. So dooley's been stronger than the other heroes by a little bit, percentage-wise.
He's going off percentage. He's going off percentage. But listen, percentage. Let's just finish what he's saying.
Difference is more pronounced. Like, well, I don't know. Any hero can win, but dooley definitely needed some nerfs. So a lot of the issue with dooley's item set
it's consistency.
It's just that it's in need of a numbers pass. He used to be quite underpowered and really synergy reliant, and sort of step by step we made different chunks of his card set playable and buffed a lot of stuff. And yeah, at this point, he's just quite strong. A lot of the items he has are just like a number off. It's like the cooldown's like 1 second too low and things like that.
Yeah,
so,
that is true.
But yeah, in general, dooley needs a numbers pass, and that's kind of the goal of a lot of this. So we'll see how it plays.
That is true. And
that clock down to 2 seconds. Oof. It's a lot of flavor lost. we'll see about that one.
I think
maybe
it's correct.
1 second, and the output should be halved. I don't know. Anyway, let's jump into system alpha ray. Numbers changes. This item is cracked, and hopefully this is a little more in line. Still very good, I think.
I think it's so good.
We'll see. Arc Blaster's numbers were just way too high, so cutting that down. Let's see, barbed wire. Not a huge change.
That was just for non-dooley builds.
Some Blast Doors balancing, getting that a little more in line.
Okay.
Bunker.
Let's see. It says Chris Army Knife. Oh, wait. They nerfed Bunker. Oh no, they changed it. It says you take 40% less damage. Wait, that's actually good. Holy, that's good. That seems like an item you would keep on your inventory because 40% less damage late game, let's say against like a pig build that's just trying to like fucking one-shot you through infinite health scaling, is gonna make some amount. of scent. I gotta see how this plays out because it's just a large item that just reduces the damage you take for 40%. But if you have like a ray set that is just scaling for infinite, this is actually really good. Okay, and we see Chris Army Knife deal 6, 12, 18, 24 from 5, 10, 20, 40. It doesn't matter because Chris Army Knife is like, you try to keep it as a silver item most of the times and it's goated, but like Diamond Chris Army Knife isn't. It's the thing you always have on your board. You always have it on silver, and that's like, if that's where it's buffed, I'm cool with that, right? Anyways, we got Chrono Barrier game. They nerfed the shield on the first proc, which is okay. It says non-tech items have their cooldowns increased by 1-2 seconds. From enemy items have their items cooldown increased by 1-2 seconds. So it's like a global effect now, but it only affects your non-tech items. That's a huge nerf, but it needed to be nerfed, especially since if another character got it, bro, because it's good on dooley, but it doesn't exactly have a good niche on dooley in the sense that it doesn't help proc his core. There's like some iterations of the things, right, that it just didn't synergize as well as other characters. We have combat core getting its base damage nerfed. It's fine. It's the cooldown that kind of hurts a bit. It's a 5-second cooldown, which is okay because it was one of the stronger items. And then we have corners. Let's see, and I can already see that the core just got numbers on it, so it's fine. But look at the base damage from 10 to 30. That's really good. Let's see.
But we didn't have the tech to do this, so we had to sort of cheat it in the last patch. It was like when you take damage from an item, shield equal to the damage dealt. Now we do have blanket damage reduction, so that's what we're going to do with it. We'll see if these numbers are good enough to prevent that damage from all sources. It's possible we need to buff this, but either way, we have this effect now, so we can dial it in pretty easily.
Yeah, they probably need to buff it. 50%.
Chris Army Knife.
40% isn't enough. I think 50 is good.
Some balance changes. Chrono Barrier. Non-tech items have their cooldowns increased by 1-2 seconds. Yeah, so we wanted to do kind of what we did with Fort, make this symmetrical, and tech is sort of the way you can build around it. Chrono Barrier has just been one of the highest win rate items in the game for quite a while.
It's broken.
And yeah, we got to rein it in a little. So this is leading into his tech tag more. We'll see if that's enough. It should be more interesting to draft around at least, rather than just popping it into whatever build.
It's
really good. So combat core.
It's good enough. I think it's good enough.
Overdue for a bit of a cooldown change.
Yeah, that is true though.
Condolences to Dooley mains. So we've looked at the numbers on all of Dooley's cores.
Yeah, weapon on his core was
too big of buffs early, but in general, the goal is to make them all playable. All have a consideration in whatever build.
That weaponized core buff is good.
These are very big buffs, like weaponized core. You can see here, but we'll see how that plays.
Weaponized core is actually good now. Like that's a good thing, especially since Ray got nerfed. This is good.
Cores. I don't remember. I know this is one of the more impactful changes, and I have the top of my head. I don't have all the details on it for you. It's a numbers pass basically on a handful of cores, and we're gonna see if we got it right.
By the way, armored core is still really good.
Cyber security.
That makes me happy.
For each weapon or tech that you have. All right. So this one's been reworked from being your only friend. He just wasn't seeing a ton of play, so it should be a good change.
Says damage. Oh, that's good.
Scarf
that guy's in very, but it's 12-second cooldown. It's only going to be used in regular core because 12-second cooldown, my guy, is a lot.
Shield numbers are more in line with our new scaling.
It's apparel, fiber optics.
Fiber optics is re-enabled. Oh boy, we're trying to nerf Dooley and we bring back one of his better items.
Wait, fiber optics is the one that whenever you use the item on the left, you charge the item on the right 1 second. Why did they bring that, by the way? Anyways, Chlorins damage from 20 when you use friend. Was Chlorins really that much? Was it being that used by stats compared to Ballista? I mean, if you don't have Ballista, Chlorins is actually like a good substitute, I guess. You buff Clarm with the item's unusable. But it's unusable just because it comes in gold. If it were silver. Dinosaur got fucking nerfed. It's fine. They nerfed Aiden. Damn. I think it's still gonna be usable. 4 seconds is is a big nerf. Still gonna be used. Granola bar, they buffed the bro. By the way, granola bar with shield dually. Spicy
really
shield is actually
we'll
good.
see how that fits in. Chlorins, when use a friend, gains damage for the fight. Yep. Just numbers changes. All right,
it's all, the majority is just gonna be number changes.
Big buff here. We'll see if it's enough. Cool LEDs need a small nerf.
Yeah, that's fine. That doesn't matter too much.
I think the scaling increases only. First Aiden.
We need it to be nerfed, bro.
There's gonna be riots in the streets.
Yes, of course.
He was too good.
He was too good.
And he's kind of a symptom of like Dooley's cooldowns just being too low.
Yeah, that is true. That's true.
If you compare an item like Katana, which should be like one of the fastest items in the game, you compare that to like a 4-second cooldown small item, it's just
it's not. It doesn't. It's not on par. It's not on par.
A lot of Dooley is getting bonked. First aid included.
I wish it healed a little bit more. I think it should heal 100 on a diamond, cause right, it has to be this. I think this heal tag was gonna be iterated no matter whatever nerf they got, because it's small item. Come on, like you. This might not make it playable. It's still gonna be playable, of course, because it's still good. Like it's an item that hastes on a 4-second cooldown. It's still decent, but I'm gonna give you a comparison. There's a tool item from shit. I don't want to put you the name. It's one of the new characters that it's on a 4-second cooldown, and that item slows an opponent's item for 1 second or 2 seconds, and then buffs it hastes one of your items for 1 or 2 seconds. I don't remember the durations exactly, but that makes Aiden unplayable because we all know the heal tag on Aiden isn't as important in some matches, especially on the later stages. You just need it as an enabler, basically. It's what I call, because it just starts your set of items going, right? Because it hastes, right? It's like the first cog on the wheel to turn, or the first cog on your mechanism to turn. Basically, that's what Aiden was. But it was a niche item that only Dooley had, right? So, but still, you don't want to make it unplayable, right? You don't want to make it unplayable. I would have liked it if Aiden would have came silver first. If it only came in a silver rarity, I would have been fine with that, because you wouldn't have gone on a bronze. It wouldn't have been that easy to get, and it's still Aiden, right? I just hate the fact that I know it's not gonna be as used, right? And that might bite me in the ass. I'm still gonna buy it, but because we don't have like a barometer, this being a closed beta, how good or bad that is. Some people are just gonna slap it because it's Aiden, but they're just gonna slowly see like, well, like I said, that tool item from the other character is just better. Why would we put Aiden? Some items are just too comparable to Aiden right now. Too comparable to Aiden. So for now, you think, let's put this instead of Aiden, right? Especially like LED core. Let's say you get a haste enchantment for core LED. You're just gonna take Aiden and you're like, goodbye Aiden, into the trash, right?
Unfortunately. Let's see. Armadillo. We'll see if this nerf is enough. It's gonna go up to an 8-second cooldown.
It's not enough.
There's a bunch of ways you can rework the numbers in Armadillo. 2 charge, 8-second cooldown, 2 charges. Probably about right.
Bro, just remove her from the game. Remove it from the fucking game. Why? Just if you know the item is gonna be unplayable because of how much you nerf it, just you can revert it back to the old. If I'm not mistaken, the old Armadillo did damage equal to the armor, on itself. If I'm not mistaken, so it was good with shield core. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think there's a problem right now if you revert it, right? Because we have, I do think force field is much stronger. You would have to make it like a worse or on par with force field, because Armadillo is a medium item. It's just reverted, bro.
We'll see how it plays. You could do 5 and 1. You could tweak the flat damage number. It all works. 8 and 2 feels about right for how often people are shielding. Induction Aegis. Slowed down a bit, but the numbers are tweaked.
That's fine.
It is a nerf. but not because it was OP, but just because a lot of these 4-second small items needed slowing down.
Yeah, that is true.
All right, so freezer, laser pistol. I mean, if anything should be faster.
Yeah,
The
they
laser
should have been
pistol
faster.
could be a candidate for like a 4 or
3
even a 3-second cooldown.
3
maybe.
second cooldown, yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. Mech Mole's getting a buff, long overdue. These guys have not been seeing much play. Missiles need a nerf. I hope we didn't overdo the nerfs unduly here. It used to be that you just got run over early because the cores would get you run over early. But now with the core changes we have here, hopefully some of these make them a little more viable
Yeah, that is true.
early on.
Now you can
without
now
being
you,
broken.
now you
So,
can like
We'll
play
see if we
through the
achieve
core.
that goal. This is a lot of numbers changes. Usually when we do a pass this big, it needs like, the next patch is going to have more number changes. Maybe
yes,
the patch
that is
does,
true.
But, if we missed anything, if anything's out of line, numbers-wise, we'll address it quickly. So hopefully this isn't too far off, though. It should be a more balanced game than we had before, at least. Let's see, Nitrogen Hammer. So it's size restricted freezing now. It didn't used to be. And new scaling.
The Omega Ray, and I'm pretty sure this is gonna be true for the poison one. This isn't much of a big change. Everything that I'm seeing is like fine. Yeah.
We buffed Omega Ray? Huh.
Oh no, it got buffed, but I guess from Ray, Omega Ray was the least played out of all of them, and the freeze one. But the freeze one was at the higher rarity. It was gold, so it's fine.
Why? I guess, yeah, I don't remember talking about this one. But yeah, we'll see about that one. Omega Ray definitely was not as strong as it used to be in this last patch,
Yeah.
but not sure how weak it really was. We'll see. Pierre Conditioner, size restricted now. Can't stop nerfing this guy. Pulse Rifle down to 5 seconds. This item is just way too fast. Too easy to meet the condition. Again, like, compare it to Katana. Pulse Rifle's not okay. Vanessa should be the more aggressive hero.
Pulse Rifle is the one that had multitask.
Yeah, it didn't feed.
If anything, it should be a core procer.
And if you're gonna see like a thing that's consistent across Dooley, it's like things that help proc his core better, right? Which is his niche. It's like Pig having items that just straight up scale more of his gold efficiency, right? Or how well you're doing like your gold management, right? So it should be the same for Dooley because that's his niche. You shouldn't be able to like put 8 small weapons on Dooley. You should work. No, that's Vanessa's thing, right? You should be that if you do like a niche thing for a character, it works exactly for that character better than the others, right? So like if you have multicast on Dooley, it should be for the intents of like proccing the core and not for that item itself for it to be broken, right? So it gets 5-second cooldown. Is okay.
Compared to Dooley. So you've got Rocket Launcher, downshifted to Bronze. Okay. So you'll be seeing more Rocket Launcher. Redesigned schematics. When you level up, get a random tech item. We'll see if that one plays well or
That's
not.
good. That's good.
Some more numbers changes. Walter Cooler now starts at Silver. And he gains a little more max HP early on, so hopefully that plays well. But yeah, it's mostly numbers changes. It looks like a lot's changing because you see so many items here, but really the vast majority of this is an update to the number scaling between tiers. So most items are going to have the same effect as before. Let's see, we've got Agility Boots in the apparel type. Multiplying crit chance by 25. Huh. Oh my. Let's see, in the apparel type, Dragon's Breath, Dragon's Well.
The other thing is just randomized items.
Being
Yeah.
added.
Oh, the shields.
Teddy pays
Actually, I don't
attention to
think
toys now, being used to.
I don't think most of the skills are
Ellipses
broken.
down tech,
You
makes
can
sense.
have an argument.
You can have an argument that
Fixed
most of
bone
the skills that have like a problem right now are the one that hastes, especially for Dooley. So we're gonna see if like righty tighty or lefty loosey or any of those got
Hope so.
changes.
Change.
Cool. Well, for the most part, it's numbers changes for the heroes, but some interesting reworks that we're eager to get feedback on. So moving into skill changes, mostly this is going to be balanced as before. Some of it is just tiering things more appropriately so that the skills are showing up at the right stages.
Yeah. See, and
I don't even think the Dooley's skills are a problem. I think one of the most balanced thing about Dooley's were his skills. If I'm gonna be quite honest. Like
Dual
they didn't.
wield, Mr. Remove skills
They
going to
didn't.
reworked. We're going to try this. If you have exactly 2
They
weapons,
felt good.
50 crit chance. It should be easier to make use of if you win this.
Fury of Fist, or whatever. I know it has another name, but anyway. Yeah, dually skills are okay.
Let's see. Waters of Infinity. Sure. Cryo Mastery. Yeah, that's way stronger. So, some monster skills and such getting buffed. Building Crescendo. Look, we were planning to nerf this skill, this patch, like for a while, and Crip linked me this Reddit post where people were really angry about the skill and they really wanted it nerfed. And my response was like, well, we were about to nerf it, but now like it almost certainly can't be the right thing to do. So I still feel that way. This is probably a mistake in a way that I'm not seeing yet. But
Is Building Crescendo the one that removes it removes 50% crit chance from your all your items? So
If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm right. You start at negative 50% crit. That's actually the correct number tag on it. So you would have to go from negative 50 to 0. Then you start building up your crit. And what Raynad is saying is like you have to go to 0. It's a lot, right? Like especially in the later stages. I don't think it's good enough. I think that's exactly what he's trying to say, because it starts as a gold skill. That means you don't have to proc. I think it's 5 weapons or it's just 5 items for you to start critting at a 50% chance. Which you gotta.
Either way, we will turn the numbers down.
Maybe 3 and 6 was
revert
a bit
this.
too much. Yeah.
The fact that Reddit suggested it means that this was the wrong solution. But we'll try it.
That's kind of fucking funny, bro.
I think it should still be all right. We'll just get a feel for it. So, Poison Tyrant, fix an issue of Poison Tyrant's regen, not trigger off opponent poison. Sure. Fix an issue. Some bug fixes. Remembers how to use Octopus correctly, gaining 50 base damage on it. Oh.
Yeah, so they have to change a lot of things about the rank system, but I think the most predominant change they have to do is that when you get to legend or the actual ranked ladder or whatever you want to call it, there's their barometer or how you should be going up the ladder. I think it's a little bit skewed because the way it works, it's like a win percentage. If you win 10 games in a row without losing, like that's the highest amount of points you can get if you put it on a scaling. And the least points you can get is getting 8 losses in a row without winning, right? Of course, that's true for the other. That's true for the other ladder. The problem comes is if you win 10 wins, right? Even if it's in a row, right? This is like where it feels kind of bad. You can win 10 wins in a row, but you lose 8 rounds in between or even before those 10 wins. You'll sometimes like not even go up the ladder because it doesn't matter how many times you win. It's based off win percentages, right? So if you get like almost the max amount of losses and the max amount of wins, it's almost like you did nothing in your run, right? I don't think that's how the game plays out. It shouldn't be like the correct way the rank system works. It should work how the regular ladder works. Silver wins, bronze wins, and gold wins, and perfect wins if you want to put it on a scale. The problem is, I don't want to put it on. I don't want to put the weight on play patterns, but knowing how the meta is and how everybody is doing the correct builds, and I get this is in partly a problem because the people that are playing the game are sweats because they paid through the game. The game isn't on a free-to-play scaling right now, so a lot of people that are playing are they know what they're doing. So it's like a very skewed perception. But how the ghost interacts, and there's some kind of like bullshit interactions where day 1 you go against a ghost that's a day 2 ghost, which is complete fucking bullshit. Imagine your run gets ruined because you go into like an opponent who's a day older than you, right? So they don't have the ghost as consistent as they should be for the ranked to work as how they have it now intended, right? Especially if this you have like ghosts that are completely broken, right? Which is fair, right? You could go against like ghosts that are technically unwinnable. Like no matter what you could have gotten on your run, you were never beating these ghosts because they were too good, right? Because you're not always going to hit. But it shouldn't be that just because you're RNG, you're going to get like the max amount of loss, right? It's like, why am I even playing, right? Why am I even playing ranked if I have to if I have to always high roll for me to like climb up the ladder? That doesn't make sense. That like throws skill out the window, and it promotes like repetitive gameplay, which I get it. That's what makes a game profitable, or makes a game like playable in the sense that everybody's gonna keep playing it because they're addicted to rank. But it's not good for gameplay wise. Like they should make a change where like the rank system goes on par with how much you get to the 10 wins, not your win ratio. Let's see what he says.
Either in this upcoming patch or the one right after that. Probably the one after the patch after tomorrow is my guess, because I don't see it in the patch notes here. But the way that we're changing Legend Ranked mode is to only count your wins. It's not going to pay attention to your losses or your
This is
opponents
this.
anymore. And our first version of this should be coming in here, like I said, either tomorrow or the patch after that. We're eager for feedback on that system from Legend players. One of our concerns with our first implementation of what we're about to try is that it might reward playtime too much.
There we go. There we go. Exactly what I said.
We have to really just run it in the wild and see how the numbers play out. And it's super easy to edit from this point on if we wanted to. Once again,
let's
too much.
Let's see what he says again, just so I can make
a
correct.
in the patch notes here. But the way that we're changing Legend Ranked mode is to only count your wins. It's not going to pay attention to your losses or your opponents anymore.
There you go. There you go. So it doesn't matter how much you lose, right? It shouldn't. It should be like that, because you could have like a bad mid start of the game. You could have a bad mid game. You can even have a bad late game. But the problem is you're making choices throughout your run that get you to the 10 wins. It should only look at your wins, right? So, again, it's correct to like it's logic, right? It's good that he's making this change, is what I'm saying. Because again, what he's saying is that the other way around, it just rewarded players that are just playing nonstop, and it shouldn't be like that. It's like, well, I'm playing 10 games, and these 3 games I fucking hit like a maniac, and I ranked up. Is like basically playing off a 50% win rate, which I hate. That thematic, bro. That thematic is very toxic. It does not promote skill at all. Your skill, if it's better than the average player, should skyrocket you, right? It's not how much the game is giving you, it's how much you're giving the game.
And our first version of this should be coming in here, like I said, either tomorrow or the patch after that. We're eager for feedback on that system from Legend players. One of our concerns with our first implementation of what we're about to try is that it might reward playtime too much. But we'll see. We have to really just run it in the wild. And
I love that change. Love that change.
And it's super easy to edit from this point on if we wanted to. Once
yep.
again,
that's a good thing. That they can change that whenever.
The Legend ranks will be reset, and with that new system coming in, we're eager for feedback to see how that plays. So
let's see how it plays. I'm gonna go like
today. Thank you all
a Legend to rank 1
video. Mostly balance passes this time around, some reworks, some new content. So hopefully you guys have fun with it. Let us know what you think. I'll see you soon with another update video for the Bazaar.
Damn. Okay, that was a good video. Games had that mentality. I want to see that rank change come into play. I'm going to be making like well, whatever it is, like gameplay to ranked 1. So let's see how it goes. Hopefully it works as intended. It should work out smoother, because that win ratio thing is skew. These patch changes are really good. They nerfed dooley, so that might give more paths to pick players, and by subsequent, it's gonna make the meta spin-off entirely because if you have a build that's repetitive and broken, I'm a dooley player right now, so it feels bad going into a mirror match and your opponent just hitting more than you. And I want to play against pick. I want to know if my build beats pick, right? That makes sense, right? But anyway, good patch. Looking forward to playing later on the first iteration of the patch. Thank you guys for watching.